Today, let's talk about a book that is, and I'm not exaggerating, a total game changer for anyone who's ever looked at a stock chart, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. We're going to get into why all the skills that make people successful in life can actually cause them to crash and burn in the markets, and more importantly, how to build the mind of a true winner.
All right, let's just start with a number that's kind of hard to swallow. Market experts will tell you that a staggering 95% of traders fail, and we're not talking about just having a bad year. We're talking they lose everything, usually in their first year. It's not just a tough job, it's a financial graveyard for most people.
So that brings up this really weird paradox, right? You've got doctors, lawyers, business owners, people who are at the top of their game in really demanding fields. Why do they get into trading and just get wiped out? The answer to that is what this is all about.
Well, it turns out that the very habits and skills we're taught our whole lives to succeed, in school, at work, those things become our biggest weaknesses in the market. Trading demands a total mental rewiring, a way of thinking that is completely alien to most of us, and almost no one is ready for that shift.
You can actually see this if you look at how trading analysis has evolved over time. Back in the day, it was all fundamental analysis, trying to figure out what a stock should be worth. Then, in the 80s, technical analysis took over, which is all about chart patterns and what is happening right now. But the final piece of the puzzle, the one that truly separates the pros from everyone else, is mental analysis, getting a handle on what's going on inside your own head.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the clash here. In everyday life, we are driven to be right, to avoid failure, to get things under control. But successful trading, it demands the exact opposite. You have to be okay with uncertainty. You have to accept losses as just the cost of doing business. And you have to stop thinking in certainties and start thinking purely in probabilities.
Which leads us to maybe the most important point of the entire book. The market isn't what you're fighting. Your own mind is. The real war isn't happening on the screen. It's happening between your ears, with all your built-in reactions to risk and being wrong.
Mark Douglas uses this perfect little story to explain it. Picture a small child, right? He sees a dog for the very first time. He's got no baggage, no fear, just pure, unfiltered curiosity. He feels this pull to go check it out, so he walks right up to the dog, totally open.
And then, the dog snaps and bites him. It's painful, it's scary. Now, his mind forges a connection. From that day on, the next time he sees a dog, any dog at all, could be the friendliest golden retriever in the world, his mind doesn't see a new, unique situation. It just hits the panic button, replaying the pain and fear from that first encounter.
This is a classic case of what's called psychological projection. That kid is projecting the memory of pain from that one bad dog onto every other dog he sees. And for a trader, this is absolutely catastrophic. The pain from your last big loss gets unconsciously projected onto your next trade setup. So a perfectly good opportunity suddenly feels incredibly dangerous. You're not even seeing the market clearly anymore. You're seeing it through this thick filter of past trauma.
Okay, so if our brains are basically hardwired to sabotage us in the markets, to run from risk and project old fears, then how on earth do those top 5% of traders actually make money consistently? What are they doing that's so different? They learn to think like a casino. Seriously, this is the entire mindset shift in a nutshell. You stop being the gambler, sitting at the table, hoping this one spin is your lucky one. You become the house. You own the game. Let's really break that down. The average trader, the gambler, is completely obsessed with the outcome of this one trade. Every decision is tangled up in hope and fear. But the pro trader, the casino, they know any single trade is basically a coin flip. It's random. So they focus on executing their strategy, their edge, flawlessly over a whole bunch of trades because they know that's where the predictable profits come from. Just think about a casino's blackjack table. They've got about a 4.5% statistical edge over the player. The casino has no clue who's going to win the next hand. They couldn't care less if you win 10 hands in a row. But they know, with almost mathematical certainty, that over thousands and thousands of hands, they're going to walk away with about 4.5% of all the money that was bet. That is their edge.
And that right there is the secret. It's a paradox. You have to genuinely believe deep down that the outcome of any one trade is completely unpredictable. It's random. And at the exact same time, you have to have rock-solid faith that over a series of trades, your edge will deliver predictable results.
Holding those two contradictory ideas in your head at once, that's the key.
So, the million-dollar question. How do you actually do that? How do you rewire your brain to work this way? Well, it comes down to consciously installing a brand new belief system about how markets work.
Douglas gives us 5 fundamental truths that you basically have to drill into your head until they're second nature. These aren't just neat ideas. They have to become your new operating system. For instance, when you truly, deeply accept that anything can happen and that every single moment is unique, it completely frees you from that trap of projecting the past. It lets you see what's happening right now as just a stream of probabilities.
And to really bake this in, he lays out a brilliant exercise. First, you define your statistical edge, your set of rules. Then you commit to taking the next 20 trades that fit those rules, no matter what. No second guessing, no skipping one because you have a bad feeling. The point isn't to make money. The point is to prove to yourself through direct experience that you can trust the process over a sample size. That's how you build real confidence.
You know, in the end, this whole thing is about transformation. Like Douglas says so perfectly, the trader you want to be, that person doesn't exist yet. You literally have to create a new version of yourself, one belief at a time.
So really, the market is just a giant mirror. It reflects your fears, your discipline, your beliefs right back at you. The path to becoming a great trader isn't about finding some magic indicator out there, it's about mastering the world inside you. So the real question isn't whether you can beat the market, it's whether you're ready to master yourself.